Hey guys, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello, and I'm really excited to be bringing Ben Naumann. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Ben Naumann. And Ben and I actually met each other at a networking event probably about a year ago. We were I think Max Maxwell was in the room. He came into town and we were like talking briefly before he showed up. And then I actually ran into him when I was leaving a Starbucks the other day, and I was like, dude, what's up? I don't know if you remember me. And I actually remembered your name at the last second, just because you seem really friendly and personable, and like I remembered you. And I think I had your number saved, even though we never really talked after that. So funny enough, I was like, dude, I got nothing else to do. Can I just come and talk to you for an hour? And now here we are a couple days later recording this podcast episode. So I'm always open to opportunities, and I just wanted to say like how cool it is that we're sitting here and talking. But if you want to real quick introduce yourself for the audience so they know who you are and what you want to talk about today.
Sure, definitely. So I'm Ben Naumann. I'm a local real estate investor here out of Houston, Texas. And I think we're going to kind of have a chat about self-esteem as an entrepreneur, kind of some of the struggles that you're going to face, and how you have to think about that, and how kind of important that is to, because there's personal life, there's business life, and kind of how that really affects everything. And I thought we could have a chat about that. Does that sound pretty good to you?
That sounds good, and that's really important even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're in your corporate career, right? When I was in corporate and I was the little peon who came in, right, the little worker bee. And I'm looking, like, I'd see the CEO sitting there, and I'd be like, dude, look, that's the CEO, like, sitting at the table. And you know how much he's making, and, like, he's running a huge company. It can be really intimidating, and you can have self-doubt, like, how am I ever going to get to that level? Because you just seem like you're so far away, right?
Definitely.
So what's a time when you first started off, you probably had a lot of self-doubt, like, issues with your self-esteem? Like, how did you feel?
Yeah.
Did you feel like a phony, or what?
For sure. I mean, it's an issue that...
Calling yourself an investor for the first time when you're like, I haven't done a deal.
That's funny, man. That's really funny. That's how everybody feels. Everybody, when they're starting off, they have confidence issues and self-esteem issues with themselves. And it's really tough. It's tough to keep up, your personal confidence too, because that... If you're say for instance, you're not having any traction in your business over here, it's hard to keep up your personal self-esteem, your personal confidence as well. And I think it really ties together. Well, I guess we go on and talk about a couple different things with this. But I actually saw a TV show here recently, man, and it was about actually a billionaire, and it's on Discovery Channel. I think it's called I forget the name, but it's about a billionaire, right? And so the premises of the TV show is, he says he heard about a lot of entrepreneurs with their excuses and different mindset issues going on. And he says, I know that I can create a $1 million company in 90 days. If you drop me somewhere in the U.S. off an airplane, drop me anywhere. I don't have anything. He has a phone with no contacts in it.
This is the TV show?
Yeah. So it's very. I'll tell you about it. It's very interesting, and what he's able to do actually with his self-esteem, because this is the one thing that he has his self-esteem. It's not even like his 100% his specialized knowledge. It was really his self-esteem
and that confidence
too.
So that's a huge part of sales and stuff. If you're confident about something, like sales, I hear, is not about what you know, it's about how confident it's about what people think you know.
Yeah, right? So he actually here, I'll tell you a little bit more. So he's
sounds like a very interesting show.
Yes,
check it out.
Very interesting. And he's given a crappy truck, maybe like a $5,000 beater truck. And he's dropped off in some town in Ohio.
This is like
actually,
the Bear Grylls of business.
Yes, and he literally has
parachutes out.
Yes, he has $100. He starts with $100. This is proof that y'all can set your mind to anything you want. And he gets $100. He's in this truck, and he actually ends up working like a couple odd jobs in his first week to try to figure out how to he sets two goals, and one was like to achieve to get like $1,200 or something. So he starts off hustling a little bit, anyways, he makes some connection. He makes 2 prime connections in the town, which we all know connections are important, and he didn't have any to start with. So he makes 2 good connections.
So that was the primary emphasis for week 1.
Yeah, and then he's actually able, with networking with those connections, he had so much self-esteem in himself as a business person, as an individual, that the short story is he actually gets a team working with him, and he's completely frank with them, and he says, listen, I don't even have, I know this is gonna be something very interesting for a lot of y'all. He says, I don't have money to pay you all, but I want you to work on my team. And these people saw his vision and his self-esteem, that he believed he could do it. They were believing in that leadership so much that they worked for him for free to start working on this company. And I just thought that was really crazy, and
that's amazing. And these people, like visionaries and stuff, you'll hear like Steve Jobs and all these other people who've been successful. They had the power to inspire people to do things that normal people wouldn't want to do, right? The people who are just there for the paycheck, they wouldn't want to do this. It's the people who want to make a difference and actually become better that can align with that kind of vision.
And
it's incredible, though.
It's that.
Because people can sense, they can sense your confidence and your feelings, right? Even if you're sitting across from a seller, like to bring it back to real estate where we're doing it, they can tell if you don't know what the hell you're doing, like if you don't know the numbers and you're not sure about the area and you forget like their name maybe. Like you gotta do your
they're unfortunately, people get in bad positions, and so in this instance, they're in a sinking ship and they need to latch onto somebody. And they need that person to have confidence. So every time I'm with a seller, my primary focus is to be interested and not interesting. So I'll really work on focusing on them. But also, I'm extremely confident in my. Somebody told me before, a realtor told me before. They said, "Oh my God, you're like a numbers junkie with always knowing your numbers super quick where you need to be on a property." But they're confident.
When you're confident like that, other people are confident in you as well because they know that you know what you're talking about. Going off to that story, that's so incredible that the guy got dropped off wherever and he was able to build a team with nothing. If you've got knowledge and you've got experience, entrepreneurs always say this: you can take everything from me and I will be able to rebuild it.
And that's what we're talking about today, and what we think self-esteem is.
Yeah.
So that
it fluctuates,
and it does, and there's gonna be ups and downs, but no, people still, you can have self-esteem if you have $0 in your bank or if you have $1 million in your bank.
So true.
Yes, it does fluctuate, but you can do certain things to help that, to build that, to control that.
Right.
So like I think of the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, because you have to get this. A lot of the gurus and stuff, they say, oh, you need to do these special things and all that. But I think this is really step one before you can get consistency, before you can build a team, because no one wants to follow someone if they don't have this. But I think you can. The biggest thing is you have to keep promises to yourself. So it sounds simple enough.
That is the hardest thing.
but it's tough, and I recognize it in you a lot because you literally, I've seen on your phone, you have a schedule, and you are you're
Thank you.
the Google Calendar. You really impress me. It's the little things. People think, oh, this guy, he's probably kind of weird. He has a schedule or something. No, like you
I appreciate that.
You hold yourself accountable. Like, hey, if I'm gonna I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do. And it all starts with yourself. You can't tell a business partner that you're going to do something if you can't even keep the promises to yourself first. You can't tell a team member, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And you can't even,
keep yourself accountable.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because it's something that I developed over time, right? I didn't always use a calendar. I played things by ear, by memory, and then things started to slip. As you start to juggle more and more, it's harder to remember everything that you were working on. So I think when we were scheduling this interview, I was just like, 3 o'clock, oh, I forgot I have something else that ends at 3. Can we push it back 30 minutes? And I literally changed the Google Calendar event right away. And it's really helped me to manage myself and my time more effectively. But going off of what you said there too is that if you start to hold yourself accountable, you start to believe in yourself, Because at a certain point, whether it's skipping a workout or hitting snooze an extra time too many, right? You start to doubt your capabilities because you failed yourself before. When you made that promise that you didn't keep and you keep doing that, it becomes ingrained in your mind where your promises to yourself are empty and you can't hold yourself accountable anymore.
Of course. And
so it starts with the smallest of things.
And that's literally
the smallest of things.
So critical when you're going through bad times and if you're going through rough times in your business, or you're going through rough times in your personal or tough personal situations, it's really going to help you. It's really going to help you to not be down in the dumps, to not start feeling like a victim or anything like that. Would you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can really help you keep going.
Yeah. So, tell me a little bit about, I guess, your self-esteem and how you've managed it, and the ups and downs that you feel. Because I know you've had some wins, you've had some good deals, you've probably had some fall apart where you're like, you started to get the self-doubt again. Like, man, maybe I'm not good at this, right? We all feel it all the time.
So, I've done. I think in the last couple, maybe the last 3 years, I've really, the last 3 years has been a really big process for me, a lot of learning in myself, and I've gained a lot of self-esteem in the last 3 years. I've always been, a little, and still even today, I'm actually inside more of an introvert.
Yeah, but you're doing more stepping out.
Yeah, I mean, I think some actually salespeople. I think people are better salespeople actually if they're introverts, because they have one advantage. They can be better salespeople because they have one advantage. I think they're better at listening. I think they're better at listening to people.
That's actually a really good
They're
point.
more interested.
Because one of the guys that I used to work with in the last investment company, he was a self-proclaimed introvert, and whenever he would go do public speaking, you would have no idea. He was loud, presented well, projected, but deep inside, he said when he goes home, he's quiet. But in appointments, too, he'd spend a lot of time listening, and the seller would just be talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
And he got all the information that he needed to make an offer that makes sense for both parties.
But pretty much and everything that I've been doing is kind of the last 3 years has really been building up on it.
Oh, yeah. It starts, the Slight Edge talks about it, too, the compound effect, right?
Yeah.
You start to get better and better, the dominoes start to stack, and then there's a tipping point.
So the last maybe 6 months or so, I've actually negotiated 2 deals over the phone where the property's fixed up conditions on each of them were worth over $700,000 for each property. And I'm not I didn't go to college, 4-year college or anything like that ever, and having the self-esteem to negotiate deals for that expensive properties over the phone, it really.
You never visited them, or you were just the initial negotiation.
So one of them, it was actually off of WTC Jester Boulevard here in Houston. That one, I got it under contract, and I hadn't been to the property. I actually know my numbers so well.
That's awesome.
That I really don't have to go to the property to know where
enough budget in there for the repairs.
Yeah, I mean I pretty much know around where the repairs are going to be. So on this one, I knew where I needed to be, and I knew at the number that I negotiated, it didn't matter about the condition of the property.
Right, you have plenty of room.
So I mean it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean I got it for under half the tax appraised value, under the half the HCAT value.
It's incredible.
So anyways, and then the other one, I was it was actually funny. I was actually walking around the track at the YMCA in downtown
when
I was negotiating this other deal. Actually over here in it's near Washington Avenue. I was negotiating that deal on the phone while I was walking the track. Always stand up
when you're talking.
Stand up when you're negotiating.
This is really good.
Little gold nugget here.
If you sit down, your energy's low. You might slump over, right? And you're it's harder to get that vibe and that energy going. When you're up and you're moving your hands and stuff, you're more excitable, I guess, on the phone. And you're more confident.
Definitely.
Versus being slouched over oh, I guess I can make an offer on your house, versus, you know what, this is what I have to be at. You know, I'm going to send you the contract. If you want to sign it, do it. If not, all right, good luck with the next guy.
Yeah, I mean, I put
the takeaway close.
I've been so confident that I've put and I've put a, I don't know I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I've actually put properties under contract with no option period before. Mm-hmm. You know, felt comfortable enough to do that.
Still get out of them if you need to. Or
I didn't know you can't. I didn't know you really can. I put no out clauses and no option period.
Yeah.
Just because I felt so
that's awesome.
confident about it enough. But yeah, I think it's a really, really important thing. And so what do you think? I'll tell you mine as well. What do you think is one thing that, you know, people can do to, you know, kind of what we talked about, you know, get a little bit more self-confidence, even if maybe they're just starting out in their, you know, their business life. Maybe their personal life hasn't been going so well lately. Maybe they just...
Yeah. So one thing that I would say is kind of like we talked about before, those little promises that you make to yourself. For those who have a hard time with keeping habits, or they automatically say, I can't do that, I can't go to the gym, you know, 4 times a week or whatever, start to pick one thing that you want to do, like whether it's workout or you want to read 10 pages of a book a day. Like, start with one thing, and you'll notice that once you conquer that, you can add something else, and then you continue to build, and then you develop a lifestyle where when you start improving one area, like you start going to the gym more often, you start reading, the other areas of your life start to improve as well. Your relationships, your business. Because if you're not doing well in one area, like if you're not getting enough sleep, like this guy, we were talking about that on a previous episode. If you're not getting enough sleep and stuff, you'll start to slip in your other areas. You won't follow up with those leads. Your business won't do as well. You probably skip the gym because you're too tired, right?
That's putting yourself in a bad position.
Right. So try to put yourself in a position where you can win and hold yourself accountable. That would be my advice. How about you? How would you answer that question?
I completely agree, 100%. And not everybody has to be, you know, Lance Armstrong in the swimming pool or in the gym or some, you know, buff guy. But I think that is the easiest way. If I had to
Lance Armstrong's on the bike.
Oh, is he on the bike? Whoever. I guess it's Michael Phelps in the pool.
I was like, Lance, I don't know how good he is in the swimming pool. But
see, I don't want. I stay away from the, you know, the ESPN and stuff like that.
Not everyone has to be Lance Armstrong on the bike or Michael Phelps in the pool. I just wanted to address that in case anyone else caught it. But yeah, you don't have to be a superhero or a superstar. Like, you could start as a normal human being. This
is a process. Self-esteem is something you're always going to be working on. So I'm actually on a program right now called 75 Hard from Andy Frisella. And if you don't know what this program is, you should definitely look it up on Google. Check out his podcast. It's the #1 business podcast, I believe, on iTunes.
Yeah,
MF CEO.
I've gotten a lot of inspiration from my podcast from his.
Yeah, and I'm actually, you know, still working on all this stuff, and that's why this is my second time to start the 75 Hard program.
Are you doing it again, or did you have to restart?
So the first time I started the 75 Hard program, I told myself I need this. I was having a bad personal life at that time. I think I had like a crappy relationship go real bad, and I was having a rough time in my personal life. My business is doing good, but bad stuff in my personal life. And I said, I need this. I need this. And it's a program that consists of working out and eating a certain meal plan for 75 days straight, working out 2 times a day, 1 time outside, and the other one doesn't matter, for 45 minutes, reading 10 pages of book every day.
Drinking a gallon of water.
Drinking a gallon of water. You see my gallon right over there.
I saw you chugging out of that gallon.
Yep.
Earlier, yeah.
And also taking 1 progress pic a day. There have been some complaints on my Instagram. Yes, I do take a progress pic every day. And
it's to hold yourself accountable too. I have not done 75 Hard yet. I have a lot of friends who have. A lot of the things that I do, though, kind of align with that.
Yeah.
I do drink a lot of water. I did a gallon for a while, but then I was like, man, I'm peeing way too much. Like, I can't even sit in a meeting for like 30 minutes without having to go to the restroom, right?
Shoot, I'm going pee
all
the time.
You've already gone like 3 times.
Hey, don't wrap me out, man. Don't wrap me out.
But no, it's a really good program. And even 75 Hard is more like a mindset thing, is what Andy Frisella talks about. Because when you start to hold yourself accountable, you start to read the 10 pages a day, and you start to work out twice a day, right?
You're going to get that belief in they're going to get that self-esteem. And
you stop coming up with excuses. This is one thing that I love that Andy said. He said the 45 minutes, you've got to do one workout outside. And there's people across the world and nation that are doing this, and like, it might be snowing outside. It might be 100 degrees outside. It might be hurricane outside. No matter what happens, this helps you stop coming up with excuses and understand that life's going to throw crap at you sometimes. And you've got to adapt, right? You've got to continue to show up even on the days that you don't want to.
Definitely.
So I think that's huge about that program.
Yeah, I mean that's literally life changing. That's life changing what you just said, because that translates to your business.
Because you're becoming mentally tough. You're running outside when you don't want to, and other people think you're crazy. And then whenever you don't want to make that extra phone call or you don't want to go on that appointment, you're going to show up regardless.
Yeah, so
it's who you are.
Definitely. So who you are, that's your identity. So the first time...
You can change your identity too.
Yes, you can. I mean, it's growing your self-esteem or whatever you want to call it.
100%.
Or maybe, I guess your identity too is what do you value? You know?
Right.
But the first time I tried it, right? So I got between 10 to 15 days in. And also there's no alcohol, which I if you know me, you know I like liquor and Mexican food.
Great combo.
Not every day or anything like that, but
you're like, I only drink when I eat Mexican food, right? I only smoke when I drink, whatever.
That's funny. It's funny, but I do like my liquor, and I do love Mexican food. I've never not ate Mexican food for this long right now.
Wow.
I'm.
If you make homemade Mexican, like Chipotle is kind of like, it's not really like.
It's not on my meal plan.
Yeah. So that's discipline, like saying no to tempting things, right?
Yeah, I went to the bar with another investor here in town.
You got a water?
And I got a coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy said that, right? Recently on a podcast, he was like, I just get a coffee because you can sip on it slow.
Yeah, but when the first time I did it, I got about 10 or 15 days in, right? And I went to see my sister in Arkansas at the time, and I messed up. I was like, I'm going to find some way to cook the food, but with the traveling and everything, basically I've messed up and I fell off, and I actually had some family as well that was telling me, hey, no, it's okay, you don't need
You're with family.
You don't need to do this, challenge and stuff like that. But they didn't understand at the time. This is for me. This is important. It's important.
And that's so true. Like family, friends, people closest to you will sometimes give you bad advice, and they'll tell you it's okay. Like my mom's like, don't work so hard.
And they mean the best too.
Like, I understand, but like they don't know that this is what I actually want to do and enjoy. Right? Same thing with you and your family trying to pull you away from your 75 hard.
Definitely, and it lowered. Because I couldn't complete that challenge, it lowered my self-esteem, and I was trying to get it up.
Yeah.
It lowered my self-esteem.
It had the adverse effect.
It had the adverse effect.
I know people who have done it, like they're like starting for the third time now, right? They forgot to take the progress pick. They forgot to eat the healthy meal. They got a sip of like bourbon at the bar or whatever.
So I'm like 2 or 3 times farther than I was the first time.
There you go.
And this second time, I'm gonna finish it out all the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of knowledge that that this is a constant process. It's not ending.
Constantly working on improving.
And those are some things that y'all can implement. And it's gonna help you in your personal and in your business more than you think. There's not going to be some secret course out there that tells you, hey, there's some secret. This, in my opinion, this is the biggest thing that you need to work on first.
Definitely, and it's been like a huge movement for the Andy Frisella like followers. A lot of people have been talking about 75 hard. I still see it on stories and everything, and it's cool because it holds you accountable. I've been doing a lot of like holding myself accountable. I'll post things to people. And then everyone sees that I'm like going on an appointment or I'm going to go do something. And then I can't be like, oh, let me just delete the story. I want to show people, look, I went to this appointment. I talked to this buyer or seller. This is what happened. So I think that helps too, the social media piece of holding yourself accountable and showing people that you're doing what you say you're going to do.
That's very important. And it's easy to tell. It's easy.
You can know who's doing the work, right?
Like, yeah. It's easy to tell it's personal, it's business. Like, I mean, people are gonna can tell if you're a sleazebag. They don't. And on top of that, people don't like people that, you know, that aren't people don't like people as much that aren't confident, and that you know, as in our case of real estate, you know, they don't want to work with you. They don't want to work with you.
If they get a weird vibe or something, and I feel bad for a few people who are like socially awkward or like they don't understand those social cues. I feel like I can read people real well. Like I can tell when people are like disengaged, or at least I think I can. You can tell when people, or I can tell when people are starting to feel uncomfortable or getting bored or fidgety or right. And I want to include people. Whenever I see someone who's in a group who's not getting any interaction or they're a little more quiet, I'm like, what do you think about that, right? Whereas sometimes part of me wants to just be like the extrovert who like dominates and I don't let anyone talk. So I have to pull myself back sometimes and like make sure that I'm including people and reading the room appropriately, right?
Your emotional intelligence is high. Your emotional intelligence is high. That is.
It's important.
And this is kind of a different thing as well. But emotional intelligence it's going to be a pivotal factor for every entrepreneur.
I think it could be more important than like your actual like business intelligence, right?
Yes,
if you've
I
got
completely
the power,
agree.
Like that guy who got dropped off, like the Bear Grylls of business that you're talking about.
The what?
The Bear Grylls of business who gets dropped off. You know Bear Grylls, the guy who gets like he jumps out of an airplane and he has to survive somewhere.
Oh yeah.
That's what your guy was reminding me of, where he's getting dropped off with just $100 bill in a crappy truck. But when you have that emotional intelligence and you can inspire people to actually take action on your vision, you're able to corral resources to build a team, to have people do favors for you out of the kindness of their heart. It's almost like mind control, right?
Yeah, it's
in a weird way.
It's sales, but it's not that old school sales BS
that doesn't work anymore.
Where
the cold call and like the
like oh, let me beat them up on the numbers, or oh, let me beat this person down,
let's bring
make
the car
them feel bad. Oh,
out.
your house looks real shitty, sir. It's more like the people with emotional intelligence. You know, they can feel what that really put that
empathize, right?
Yeah, they've been in situations like that themselves. I've actually I don't know if I've ever said this before out loud. I've actually sold would be considered real estate assets before as a distressed seller. As a motivated seller, my other friend in real estate, he actually bought that asset from me at a discounted price when I was motivated, and that was the best option for me.
Yeah,
I get where they're coming from. You focus on them and understand where everybody's coming from.
That's incredibly powerful too, and thanks for sharing that. Like, when you've been through that situation, you can truly empathize because you have been there. Versus someone, once you get to a certain level of success, others who look up to you will probably be like, oh, you don't know where I've been, like you don't know my story, you don't know how hard I've had it. But when you've been in those situations, you're like, actually, I came from that. I've been there. I've been in the situation where I've fallen asleep at my day job because I'm trying to build this business at night. So that's incredible. I mean, it's all about improving your mindset overall, surrounding yourself with people who can help hold you accountable too. Because if it's just you and you're trying to hold yourself accountable, no one knows if you ate that extra bag of chips. No one knows if you skipped that workout. But deep down, right? You feel bad about yourself. You're like, man, no one knows I didn't go to the gym even though I posted that I was about to go. But so hold yourself accountable, but it helps if you have an accountability partner or find a friend who can make sure to hold you accountable too.
Yes, I remember, this brings me back. I don't know if you've ever done something like this, but my previous business partner that I had in real estate, we actually had he was a little bit overweight, right? And I was actually a little bit, I'm not a super big guy right now or anything like that.
Jacked.
Super jacked, but I was...
I'm here interviewing Ed Milet right now.
Ed Milet, great guy. But, I was probably a little bit skinnier than I currently am in terms of weight and, muscle tone. And we said, hey, we're going to go to the gym every day and be in the car on the way to get to the gym by 5:30 a.m. for the next, what did we say, for 60 days.
Nice. And it's a good goal.
If we didn't get to the gym by 5:30, until we would take a selfie, like a picture in front of the gym that day, and if we didn't get there then and I was mostly helping him because he wanted to do this, but he knows I love to wake up early. I feel like I get more stuff done. My brain's not as foggy in the morning.
That's awesome.
And we had to pay each other $100 per day that we messed up. So there was one, and then at the end of the thing, we would give that money to a charity of the other's choosing.
That's really cool.
And he paid me one day. I believe that I actually hit the gym every single day, and he messed up like once, I think, or twice.
So even then, it's not bad. $100, $200 bucks.
I think that's right. And so he had to pay me like $100 or $200 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, have you ever tried anything with friends? Like
I've heard
holding
about
each other
the
accountable?
$100 trick, or even someone else talked about how they had like a match in a $100 bill, and if he ever skipped a workout, he had to burn the $100 bill.
Oh wow!
So like he never wanted to skip that
yeah.
workout, right? But I kind of like the idea of donating it to charity too, because that way it's still kind of like a loss to you, but you might feel better about it. But it also helps somebody out, because you don't really want to lose $100, especially if it's like friendly competition. But at least you can donate it instead of just turning it into ash.
yeah, and you know, if you're a real estate agent, or if you're an insurance agent, or you're a I don't know, what are the
Any agent, a sales agent of some sort.
If you're a salesperson with your favorite MLM company, what you can do is you're gonna find your friend Jill over here. Hey Jill, and you're gonna say, hey, we're each gonna make sure that we each make 25 calls a day, and hey, we're gonna, at the end of every day, I'm gonna text her, I'm gonna call her, hey Jill, just wanted to check back in with you. Did you make your calls today?
Yeah.
And yes or no.
That helps so much.
That's an easy way to start doing these things as well, to get some self-esteem, like, hey, I can do what I said I'm gonna do.
And it feels so good to tell them, yes, I actually did that. Like the thing that I told you I was gonna do, I did it.
Heck yeah, you go to sleep better at night. Feeling like you set out to, you at least put in the work to
and
do
you
what
took the steps required.
Yeah.
And
even if you didn't get the result.
You may not see the result, but you've done the actions and you've showed up every day, and it's only a matter of time until you win.
Yeah, because you can't control that. But what can you control? You can control what we're doing right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, this has been an awesome conversation. I guess what would be one tip that you have for someone to improve their self-esteem? Like your number one takeaway.
I know we've really harped on this a lot, but how do we phrase it? You have to keep the promises that you say to yourself.
Right.
Keep promises with yourself, because
that's the huge takeaway of today's
if you can't keep promises with yourself, how are you going to keep promises to your wife, your husband, your employee, your team member, to a client, to anybody? And it's just, I know this might seem like first grade stuff, but this is really important.
The fundamentals.
It's
really important.
Yeah.
This is like writing and reading.
That's kind of where I am on that subject. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be my tip as well. I guess sometimes it can be overwhelming for people who have kind of fallen off and they're not staying consistent. They can't hold promises to themselves, right? So I would recommend, my key takeaway would be to start off with just one thing, and whether that's working out 2 times a week. Like, you can start small. It doesn't have to be like go to the gym 1 hour a day, 7 days a week. Unless you're doing 75 hard, I guess you gotta go 2 times a day.
That's just kind of like all just jumping in the water.
75 hard is like the expert program.
Right? If you start with one thing, that's better anyways, right?
Yeah, start with just one thing and then work your way up. Because like now my morning routine, it encompasses all this within an hour. I do reading, meditation, journaling, a little bit of exercise. I'll sometimes go to the gym, but sometimes I'll just do push-ups or yoga at home. And so like my morning is like a power hour. By the time I show up ready to like work for the day, I've done so much. My mind's right. I've read a little bit. I've learned. I've journaled about things that have been really impactful. I also do gratitude. So like,
God bless.
My mind is so in the right spot because I start off in a good place. And the other day, my girlfriend didn't get very good sleep, and she kind of woke up and she was like grumpy. She's grumpy when she doesn't sleep well. And I was kind of like, let me go do my meditation and gratitude. But I was all in a good mood, and it was just kind of funny because like when you start off with gratitude and you sleep your 8 hours, your day starts completely differently than if you don't get your sleep or you're not thinking about the things that you're grateful for. Even when you have shit hitting the fan.
Oh yeah, man. Even the small things, man. Yeah. I'll write down. I do that same thing with my reading too. You know, thankful that that God put a roof over my head.
Yeah. Or new relationships or new friendships, or even if deals fell apart, like it probably happened for a reason. Like maybe you learned a lesson that you'll avoid on a bigger deal down the road.
Thankful for the freedom that we have to be an entrepreneur in 2019, to have the opportunity.
All you need is a phone, apparently.
Yeah,
these days
I mean, we don't even have the prompt. It's not so much as like, you're gonna be 100% win at everything, but at least you had a shot. You have the opportunity and the freedom to
in today's day and age. It's Gary Vee talks about this all the time. Like, it's never been easier. We've never been in a better era than now. He's always like, we've never been in a better era than now to be a successful entrepreneur, to have the opportunities. And I think the biggest thing with social media, it's a blessing and a curse. We compare ourselves to each other a lot, and it can be difficult to be like, man, I'm never going to get there. But at the same time, it can also be inspirational, because you can see other people who you went to high school with who, didn't make the best grades ever, that are killing it, and it gives you inspiration that you can also get there too, if you're just willing to put in the work.
Go out there, do the work, right?
Make friends. Don't be socially awkward. We talked about a lot of good stuff.
Do the work with yourself. That's my new catchphrase.
Do the work.
Work with yourself.
It's an inside job.
Cool.
Definitely. So hey, man, where can our listeners go to find you and learn more about what you're up to?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm constantly talking about personal development and real estate all the time on my Facebook, all that, stuff like that. My Facebook is Ben Naumann. So look me up on there. Feel free to add me as a friend. I'm also on Instagram. I need to get a little more active on Instagram. It's my audience is more. I like more of the older people audience, to be frank with you. Mm. And Instagram's, I feel like, a little bit younger demographic. Do you feel like that? But I still do like Instagram as well. And it's at I am Ben Naumann on Instagram.
Cool. All right, and then of course you can connect with me. Visit chrisbello.com, or chrisbello09 is my Instagram handle. You can shoot me a DM. It's probably the fastest way to get a hold of me, because my inbox has been crazy with guests. People wanting to be on the show, people they want on the show. I'm like 300 emails behind. So
lots of value.
Yeah. So it's been great having you on the show, man, and I love talking about this topic because that's so important. Getting your mind right and getting your, what'd you say, the inside job.
The self-esteem.
That will carry over to all areas of your life, so make sure your self-esteem is right. So thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
We'll do this again sometime.